Okay, I found a missing piece of paper. It's going to be a quick video. This is a missing piece of paper to the store. One of the Stuart Wilde puzzles. Well, it has to do with the theory of the pineal gland and how the pineal gland, how there was a bicameral brain that at some point before intellect started to, well, let me read what I wrote. Increase of intellect led to decrease of creativity. Um, my notes are funny to read. Hey, Gail! Oh, cool. That's awesome. Everyone says they don't get notifications. I don't know what that's about. So I'm talking about the just touching base about this theory about the pineal gland once being a like like s- the theory that I had heard before I listened to Stuart Wilde's intuition audiobook the other day. I'd never even heard this theory from him, but I've been into Stuart Wilde for like I found out about him 10 years ago. So um I have from different sources and stuff, and we've done this drawing a few times. I can sketch it again. Hi, baby. It always looks like a dick with balls. So, what resonated with my vagus nerve, what felt right and true to me is that at some point, so here's I'm not going to try to mirror it. Okay, here's the right hemisphere of the brain, here's the left hemisphere of the brain. This would be the pineal gland. Um, we'll just make eyelashes. Maybe that'll make it less look less like a penis. Okay, so that's the left hemisphere of the brain. That's the right hemisphere of the brain. And this was what I understood with it, connecting. I've never heard before. Stuart brought up bicameral brain, which makes sense. Think about myopic. So if someone is myopic, they only see things one way, right? So uh, biopic would be using, both eyes, obviously, both. Um, Bicameral. So he's saying that literally not my okay, so left hemisphere, right hemisphere, and this would have been the pineal gland organ. And the whole theory, like why basically it's been reduced to like a little P, basically, kind of wedged in between the right and the left hemisphere. It's like the penis never came out. Just kidding. So one of the theories, so there's the pineal gland. So look at the difference in my amazing drawings. So this is the theory that's connected to bicameral brain, right? Which is a brain that we had before we started using intellect more, over developing. I don't want to fuck this up anymore. I believe left hemisphere and then underdeveloped right. So now this is what most people's pineal glands look like. It's like a little gland in between these separated hemispheres. What happens is that this is the discretionary guy. This is kind of the bitch. Right hemisphere doesn't question the left hemisphere. The left hemisphere's discretionary process is based on a lot of first chakra stuff, like experiences that you had when you were little, things that your parents told you were true, stories, or not even soul contracts, uh, social contracts that you might not have even been aware of. So left will just say this is important, this is not important, and sends it over to the right hemisphere. The right hemisphere takes it, doesn't question. The whole point of hypnosis is to quiet down the left hemisphere, the left side of the brain, the discretionary, the sort of the police officer, so that you can get suggestions into the right side of the brain, which is creativity. So, from how did we get from here, a proper phallic looking thing between the hemispheres of our brain, right, to what shows up on brain scans now, which when you look for the pineal gland or if you look it up at all, it'll be some variation of this. I'm sure my drawing is gonna knock everyone else's out of the water. But so what he said, what Stuart Wilde said in the book Intuition, the increase of intellect led to a decrease of creativity. Um, once and also, I don't know if I wrote once or whatever. I was writing fast. My handwriting is not like whatever. I'm not saying I have great handwriting when I write slow. Um, also cause split of the brain. So he's literally attributing, I don't know if it would be like 1800s, 1700s, when we started to rely, maybe even before that, less. And when I say creativity, and when he says creativity, I'm not talking about painting, although that is creative work, but creatively surviving, not uh, being dependent on what I call the B system, which was all it was like a huge racket. People are on their farms with their animals, living their life, growing their vegetables. It was like, hey, come to this city. You won't need to do any of that anymore. And blah, blah, blah. And we'll give you all these jobs that'll eventually be taken over by robots. So, you know, that's such a scam, right? But he literally attributes that period of time. So, increase of intellect led to decrease of creativity, also caused split of the brain into two separate parts. Left brain is usually, in most people, is overdeveloped, meaning these like social mores, uh, maybe unconscious and even conscious agreements um, are filtering in literally all information from all the senses, and it's mostly a subconscious process of the filtration system, right? What goes over to the right brain, unless you're super aware and vigilant about this stuff. So the theories behind why we went from the large schlong that I guess made the brain actually connected to this little, pea-sized gland that's like wedged in between the two hemispheres. Fluoride dulls down uh, pineal gland. Um, Trauma can dull down pineal gland. All kinds of things that are in our environment, unfortunately, seemingly on purpose, have been uh, proven shown to dull down pineal gland. Pineal gland intuition, it's the it's what connects to the vagus nerve, which is in your belly chakra, it's in your tummy. That nerve is the only nerve they found neural cells in your belly. We literally have a second brain there. That's why it's called gut feeling. It's not for no reason. But so there is a nerve that goes from your belly to your brain right around where your pineal gland is. So that is significant. Hi, Angela. Hi, Teresa. Um, Mental health, drugs as well as what, Dela or Deb, LA? Hello, 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 hello. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, mental health drugs to dull down pineal gland? Absolutely. I actually spoke to my old, so a lot of you guys know, 10 years ago, I came here and thought I was in a rehab, which was a programming center. Anyway, I did the whole AA deal and I loved it. And I'm still in touch with my sponsor. We were speaking last night, my AA sponsor from like 10 years ago. I did the steps, I took people through the steps. I'll never regret that period of time. And I'm still very close to like this woman taught me more than any other woman in my life how to be a woman. I think that's why like just and a good person. I honestly feel like that's why we connected. I love her so much. Why did I bring her up? What did it? Oh, so Anyway, someone she knows has a child. We were talking about how like people like the whole ADHD thing with kids is really freaky to me. If you think about it, the frontal lobe of a person's brain isn't fully developed till like 2022 years of age. So the child she was telling me about is like a friend of hers, like in the age range of 8, 9 years old. Somebody diagnosed the child with ADHD, and I was like, "Are they doing the medicine thing?" And she's like, "No, no, they went to like they're doing everything but," and I was like, "I'm so happy." This is not her kids, it's someone else's kids that we know, and I was like, talk and I was she's obviously still sober and in the program and stuff, and we were just talking about it, and I was like, "I just don't know how anybody can feel okay with giving an underdeveloped brain shit like Ritalin or whatever they prescribe for, ADHD." Um, what I've noticed, because 'cause I'm a person that notices patterns, I've noticed that a lot of people that I've noticed a pattern or a whatever, people that were medicated as children, specifically for ADHD, or have taken Adderall for a long time, end up seeming to have when I see people that are, overweight, and there's no judgment at all, I energetically feel different kinds of situations, like, some people have genetic situations, some people have, um, eating disorders, right, where they overeat and stuff like that. Some people, I feel like when I look at them, they literally it makes my eyes water to even say it. Like, I feel like they just need armor. Like, I've seen people that, like, just walking down the street or, like, across the street, and I just feel like, it's whether it's their genetics or their choice or their eating habits, but they need armor, It's like something like that. Um, and then you can tell there's some people that are just seem sort of gluttonous, um, but, wait, what did that have to do with? I mean, I feel things about and then you can tell some people are overweight and they're, like, mean. You can tell they're, like, nasty. Hold on, let me try to remember what mental health drugs. What I've seen is that or what I've noticed to be a pattern as just a random person that notices patterns is that it seems like people have weight issues as adults that have been medicated, uh, specifically for ADHD. I think it messes with metabolism. I know it has to mess with the metabolism, and I know that it messes with appetite and stuff, but we were talking about, like, I don't even know how that's a thing. I mean, I get it, pharmaceutical companies are covered for liability and all that other stuff, but, like, how can that even be a thing? Like, what studies can show that a kid's brain's gonna not be negatively affected by something that's, like and not only that, I think the thing that I see with or that I feel like overweight people there's a certain, type or I guess, type of person that I see that seems overweight, and I feel the energy that they were medicated as a child with something that messed up their hormones and their metabolism and threw it off, and that's fucked up. Um, I mean, that's just one outer thing, and if you think about that, there's no way they can't know that. If I'm not a doctor, and I've noticed that. So if you think about that, not only is it whatever I could never know is happening to the brain, but once they become adults and they have this metabolism problem, that brings up a whole other kind of slew of possible insecurities, obstacles in life, stuff like that, you know? So, what are you guys up to? I just named it Coffee Talk. I found this piece of paper and I wanted to finish that bicameral brain part, but I really do feel that, and I think one of the reasons that Ajna chakra, third eye chakra, where we meditate on the pineal gland that's associated with that energy center, one of the reasons it's called the attention hungry chakra is because I think a lot of us are in the process of like, I don't know, I see it as like maybe under some kind of scan or whatever, it looks like a little pea, but maybe he just needs to like wake up, you know? It's kind of similar to the whole theory of what kundalini is. If you don't know what the kundalini energy is, it's at the base of the spine. And basically, well, I'm just gonna tell you. So basically, kundalini energy is like a fountain of energy at the base of your spine. Um, Possibilities, the sky is the limit, right? For anything like superpowers, unlocked, whatever it is that you want to call it. So it's at the base of the spine. Um, like everything we're kind of taught, things that sort of condition us in school, programs, pressures, stuff that sort of, I'm doing this on purpose because this is, sorry, this is the base of the spine, but it literally just pushes down the kundalini, the energy. A lot of the things that you do in like kundalini yoga practices are like shaking and laughing and jumping, and it's a very scientific and on purpose kind of thing to hopefully like release that. I had a cousin who had ADHD. She's all over the place. Can't sit still and stay focused for more than 10 minutes. It drove me crazy, so distracting. Was she a child? Like, how old was she? We were talking about this last night and about this child and the friend that we have in common, this girl's mom has the best, I think, thank you, Tracy! Has the best, I think, approach. Like, she was sharing, like, that and she was talking to me about my documentary and stuff. That's, like, that's why we were talking, sort of, and, she's like, every person, Ashley, and not just every person, so every story also pertaining to your documentary, um, has a something that they need to master. So maybe this girl's attention is or focus or concentration she needs to master. Some people have addictions they need to master. Some people have emotional regulation issues they need to master, communication issues. Everybody's I mean, like there's a meme I like to post like once a year. I'm not gonna be on Instagram for much longer, but like everybody's fighting a tough battle that no one will ever know about. So be fucking kind, you know? Everybody's got battles that nobody knows about that they're still healing from and licking wounds from. Like, if there are so many things you can be in this world, be fucking kind and be honest. If you're gonna open your fucking mouth, speak the truth. Be impeccable with your word. I never thought about that. Thanks for the information. Which one about the metabolism? It kind of scares me because, I mean, well, first of all, I don't know about Ritalin, but like Adderall has meth in it. So these kids are on meth. And one thing Sloan says, which definitely like resonates from experiences in the past, long, long time ago, when I've done that kind of stuff, she's like, that's a fucking portal to demons. She says that about meth, Sloan. And I believe everything Sloan says. And I see that. Like, I remember this time I asked this dude, why do you do meth and not, no, yeah. Why do you do coke and not meth or some shit? He was partying and I wasn't. I was like, why do you do coke and not meth? He's like, and I've heard this from more than one person. I do coke because like coke is whatever and meth fucks people up. I'm like, but like you're like they're kind of the same, aren't they? I mean, I've experienced both. I'm not pretending like I don't know, but for me, I don't know, the more and more I think about it, I'm not sure how much anything really affects me. Like I've been like in my 20s, been blacked out drunk. I've been messed up, of course. I'm not saying that. But I don't know. I guess to me, when he was explaining that, I was like, snorting meth and snorting coke are kind of the same thing, except I'm pretty sure meth is like dirtier. But how many times do you think your bag of coke was stepped on before you busted it out? I lived in Miami Beach for 11 years. The port is right there. You still can't really get, do you know what I mean? Um, I'm not a big drug person, but it's just funny when people are like, "Yeah, I do coke because I don't do this." I'm like, "Okay, so you do, like, a bag of baby powder and, like, maybe something else? That coke is probably meth." Who knows? That's another reason to stay away from drugs because who knows what's in it. And people are lacing fucking a girl in Los Angeles died of and I'm sorry, a girl in Los Angeles had friends over. This was in Venice, actually. She was a comedian. She had friends over in Venice, and 2 dudes died because they got a bag of blow laced with fentanyl. I'm sorry. Isn't that like I mean, I don't know, maybe the guy wasn't expecting repeat customers, but isn't fentanyl like a downer? Like like, nobody would get that bag of blow and be like, "Yo, that was great blow. Can you bring some more over?" Like, I don't what would even, like, be the point of that? But who knows? Maybe it's going around so much that people don't even know what they're fucking mixing stuff in. Doctor stuff, I meant you were in a past life for sure, and you are way, way advanced in this life. You must be a Palladian. We love you. I love you, Teresa. How's your daughter and how's your dog? What are they doing? Mine are sleeping. I got one here sleeping. Where is he? And then I got that one there sleeping. Whenever like they're both sleeping at the same time, I'm like, oh, I can do a live. And then I'm like, what should I do a live on? And I found this piece of paper and I was just gonna see what's going on. I'm gonna take them out though and probably make I made rice. I'm gonna eat more of it. And then let's see, it's 22 minutes. I was gonna ask you guys if you're gonna be here. So I have some like so from also this conversation about like the documentary and stuff, I was great. She's like, why would people want to watch this? I'm like, this. She's like, why would people want to watch that? Um, okay, so can you tell me? And so she gave me some really awesome and helpful pointers. And I wanted to kind of test the waters. I guess do like I don't know what it would be, but I want to bring up some topics. Oh, can't my heart just went like this. I wanted to bring up some topics and see which ones are more compelling to you guys. Like, is it that he was a self-made billionaire? Is it that he was a self-made billionaire with an addiction problem? Is either of those things important or interesting? Like, she was asking me, and I was like, the producer, we're not gonna do it with them anymore. One of the producers that my partner talked to worked on the Von Dutch documentary, which I haven't even seen. But so I told her that we had had a conversation with that person, and she was like, "Well, what's the brand? What can you attach it to?" I'm like, "He built a well in Morocco. He built the first well for the Berber people in Morocco. That's fucking significant." She's so cute. I mean, like with love because I need that, like yeah, it's all interesting. But how much of it is interesting not just to me? Oh, shit. Oh, I have it here. So I'll read you what I think is a great like log line that my partner wrote. Um, where did I put it? I was like, is this part a typo? But I know it wasn't. So this is one thing. Okay, so um this would be what up, not like a log line is like if somebody says what's your movie about, you say your log line. Anyway, one of the companies that Patrick built was called Get Loaded, and he sold it for 80 million. I said before 100 million. I was incorrect. It was 80 million on the market at the age of 26. Um, and that revolutionized the trucking industry. He basically made it's such a relevant thing right now, right? He made it much easier for truckers to like get shipments and stuff like that. So my partner worked with him on that was years and years ago. Okay, so what is the documentary about? Fully Loaded, which is the working title, about the rise and expected early death. I was like, I didn't even ask him actually. I imagine that he meant it. I I was thinking about the unexpected. He was like, I'm not making this like a fairy tale about Patrick, just to be clear. We're gonna be authentic, but there's going to be no bullshit, no fuckery. He's gonna stay respected. So, about the rise and expected, maybe unexpected would be a better word, about the rise, or is that interesting? Is that compelling? The expected death. I don't know. Maybe that's why he wrote it. About the rise and expected early death of Pat Hall, a narcissistic but charismatic, driven serial entrepreneur with demons he could not live down. Co-founded co-funded getloaded.com and rose to the top of the trucking industry, selling for over 80 million. So maybe Patrick told me 100. Um Divorce, drugs, betrayal, addiction, countless trips to Necker Island. It was a wild ride getting loaded. It's gonna be good because if I did it by myself, it would suck. It's hard for me to even say anything negative without having to like back up a whole bunch of like uh reasons why, because I there are so many and I understand a lot of his behavior, but absolutely a lot I don't. And so that's why it's good to have this person rise and fall maybe. When he passed away, he was 48, I believe. 68. He was born and he died in 2021. June 8th, 1968 or 1967. And then I wrote, I wonder if I can read you what I wrote. Can you guys see me? Um, this documentary charts the rise of a genius adopted into an army brat family and his evolution to self-made billionaire. Richmond's citizen of the earth headed to space, literally. Patrick, planning to be an engineer, had bigger dreams, realizing that building business or building anything by building whatever. I don't know what my typo was there. Dubbed serial entrepreneur by Forbes magazine, he told Steve Forbes, I do not want to be on your list, and sold his first company, Get Loaded, on the market for 100 million at 26 years old. Patrick Hull's explosive life and that was my interpretation, early and abrupt death will continue to impact this world in much larger and vast ways than he could have ever have dreamed. It's kind of funny, named like he told me this, like he named all could you guys see me? He named all his companies like it's so funny because alcohol was like the struggle of his, when we met, I think he was 40 or 41 or 42, something like this. But since he was 16 years old or 14, he had never been sober for longer than 8 months. But his companies were Agave, Get Loaded, what was the other ones? Like, they're just all, like, alcohol names, a bunch I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna boogity boog for now. I'll be back later, and I hope you guys are here, and I love you. And if you guys think and I was like, isn't it interesting? Like, I have experienced it. It's not interesting to me, and it wasn't even before I experienced it, to be honest. But I was like, don't you think people are interested in like this like private life, like the people that tell Steve Forbes I don't want to be on your list? Like people don't know anything about that world. Like, yeah, Richard Branson, he was very close to and did a lot with, but I don't really want to make it about him. Like, yeah, I'll probably reach out to him and see if he wants to be involved, but like I don't think people have a good taste in their mouth about it. I'm not saying anything negative or positive. Richard has only been kind to me, and I don't know anything for sure about anything. But I don't want that to be the attraction. Like I understand that some of the stuff that's going to be the hook is going to be like money and all that other stuff. But I really want that to just be the hook. I wanna show how, like, tragically beautiful someone can be and how fucking tortured they can be by money. Like, it was never ending. People wanting things, people fucking with him, people trying to fucking, run game, and then teams running game. Like, at that level, it's just my dad said his money he said Patrick made his money his curse. Like, as if it was a choice. It was absolutely, I had no idea, like, how wealthy he was, and I didn't care, and once I kind of knew, it was just more annoying than anything. I was like I remember, like, before I knew anything, I was like, are you, like, financially good to take, like, a weekend off?" So funny. But then we were, like, working on, like, before, and this is when the fucking handlers came in. When people understood that I wasn't just some dumb blonde bitch, but I was completely in love with Patrick and his best interests were priority to me, that's when weird stuff started happening. Like, he went to the fucking spa, Burke Williams, and this dude showed up in the fucking, like, sauna. It was messed up. And he told me, he goes, Ashley, there's a lot of people whose paychecks depend on me and my movements. Having you in my life now is like this pit bull is threatening to a few people at least. And I'm like, fuck those people. I underestimated the what's the word I'm looking for? The dedication of people like Fail, aka Dale Mercer, Tinsley Mortimer, yeah, etc. Okay, love you guys. Okay, cool, Angela. Wait, what the fuck time is it in New Zealand before I go anywhere? Angela, I need to know. I know it's Tuesday. I'm gonna go with 9:27 a.m. I love you.